will be car number 42. That'll be David Ray out of Meriden, Connecticut in the JMD chassis car.
Then it will be the defending champion in the late model division in car number 17. In the Skinnell and Hollinger family dentistry car, here is the quiet man, Jim Peterson.
They call him the Big Whistle. He turned some heads last Friday night in the Erasable Images Power Washing, number 99. From Uncasville, Connecticut, would you welcome Scott Cook.
This man finished second in the late model 100 in car number 92. King Ward Coach Lines brings us the three-time champion, Tommy Ferd.
AAA Drivers Training brings us the 94 out of Waterford, Connecticut. It's Dillon Moltz, car number 94.
Then it will be the Sultan of Stafford in car number 88. New Haven Truck and Auto Body Incorporated bring us Woody Pitkat.
Clark Motorsports brings us the Brian Kennedy car number 7 out of Meriden, Connecticut for the national champion, Keith Rocco.
Our point leader will be starting 8th in car number 48. The Davidson Company bring us Ryan Pasacco.
Here's a guy with a ton of talent, the Davidson Specialty Foods number 64. They call him the Magnum. Tim Rowe owns the race car. From Stafford Springs, Connecticut, Michael Bennett.
This driver has 2 victories this year, a former champion. In car number 87, New Haven Truck and Auto Body bring us the entertainer, Corey Hutchings.
Car number 00 is up next. That's the Kickback Motorsports machine out of Springfield, Massachusetts for Patrick Townsend.
One of the best will be occupying car number 01. From Bethany in the Extra Mart convenience stores, Monte Carlo, the driver is Jim Mavlajanis.
GNC Motorsports brings us the 4 from Stafford Springs, the Mean Green Machine. The talent behind the wheel is Tommy Butler.
Taking over the ride for the 3rd straight week in car number 2 is a driver from the Wheeling Modified Tour. From Berlin, here is Ryan Priest.
Scheduled to start back in the 15th spot. His dad won last night at the Thompson Speedway in the late models. Today, his son, Wayne Corey Jr., sets behind the wheel of car number 10 in the Wayne's Auto Body Special from Milford, Connecticut.
Next door from Berlin in the USS Chowder Pot number 3, here is Mark St. Hilaire.
Then it's the man that won last week, driving the 100-lap, winning the 100-lap event in Nancy Hill's race car, the Life Care Family Chiropractic number 41. Would you welcome J.J. Hill?
Next door, car number 97 from Belchertown, Meadows Motor Car presents Adam Gray.
American Sign brings us the 82 from Higginham, Connecticut. It's Tony LaFoe.
In his first race in 2010, Blake Racing, car number 61 for John Blake.
Then it's car number 71, that of course, the 61 out of North Haven, Connecticut for John Blake. Then it's Timothy Fogg for car number 51 from Stafford Springs, Connecticut.
And the second appearance for the driver of car number 40, taking over the ride from Tracy Brule. Here is Sylvia Crudden.
Well, we've heard from 3 of our staff members. Now it's time to hear from Joe Koss covering the action on pit road.
Well, last week the winner was J.J. Hill. His first career win came in the late model 100. Last week he said, getting that win, when I walked into the pit area today, I had a little extra pep in my step, but now my focus turned to proving that it wasn't a fluke, that I can get back to CarQuest victory lane here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. That's their goal tonight, and in practice they thought they were very strong. They made an adjustment for the heat, but that adjustment may have cost them because they fell out of the top 5 and fell out of handicap qualifying position, so they'll have to start in the 17th position. J.J. Hill's got a long way to go if he can go 2 in a row here in the late models.
Our late model contingency partners include CarQuest Auto Parts, H&R Block of Stafford Springs, and New England Racing Fuel, suppliers of Sunoco, the official fuel of the Stafford Motor Speedway. Get ready, it's showtime. These are the late models. Off turn number 4, we're about to go green. Full-body fender frenzy. As they come to the line, David Ray leads them to the bottom of turn 1.
The Stinger electrifies the rest of the field in the first 2 turns, but look at the big whistle. He is starting to explode in car number 99. He moves into second, and following his footsteps is Dillon Moltz in car number 94. Peterson stuck on the outside.
The inside lane looks racy as they come off turn number 4. It's Cook to move into second. Moltz moves into the 3rd spot. There comes Corey Hutchins. He cuts down a right front and goes sliding through the center of the infield. Battle for the 4th spot. Defending champion Peterson and Kid Rock duke it out. Here comes Bennett and Fern. Remember a week ago, there was
trouble for Pasacco, the point leader, up against the wall.
Wow. Caution flag came out for the 87 of Corey Hutchings, and while that happened, something apparently let go and went awry in the Pasacco number 48 because it literally rode the Armco barrier, and I can't tell you when the last time we've seen that car in any trouble.
It was probably on opening weekend when he pounded the wall in the first heat race. Maybe he ran into some fluid because all of a sudden that car got violent on him, and he was taken for a ride. Right now we're going to ride to pit road to see what's up with the 87 car of Corey Hutchings. Here's Cal.
Down here on pit road, they're going to try and take the right front tire off the automobile. It's gone flat. The car went through John Deere country here at Stafford. To the other end of pit road, Joe Costas with the 48.
Cal, it's a left rear tire that's flat on Ryan Pasacco's race car. The wheel is badly damaged. They're going to go ahead and jack the car up from the rear, lift it up, try to get that left side tire off. Meanwhile, they'll also work on the right side to make sure none of the sheet metal is rubbing up against along the right side tire, and they're going to put a right front on as well.
Well, as you notice, as we just look down on pit road, you see those black and orange striped shirts. That is actually the Bennett race team that went to assist car number 48. Remember, we've told you the story on many occasions that Pasacco and Michael Bennett and his wife Lindsay live in the same complex, and they actually hang around and they're friends together.
So Cal is standing by. Let's go back to Cal as J.J. Hill is on pit road.
J.J. Hill back down here on pit road. They're actually checking the suspension and tying everything down here underneath the left front of the automobile. They got the tire off. They're actually going to put a new left front tire back on the automobile. Meanwhile, back down the other end of pit road, the 87 machine, the New Haven Truck and Auto Body of Corey Hutchins, they believe there was some damage to the tie rod, the upper, and perhaps some of the suspension in the automobile. The car has actually gone silent, so it looks like an early end to Corey Hutchins.
That's a tough situation for that team, just running so close and being very consistent, Matt. They are long overdue for a victory.
Yeah, the heartbreak situation early on. The flat tire suffered by Ryan Pasacco, who started the night with a 48-point lead in the standings over Woody Pitkat. So he's going to need every point of it. As we try to see what happened, it was Hutchings who got into trouble first on the adjacent to the front straightaway. So the 87 got out of shape first, and he hit the wall pretty hard. So that was a pretty punishing hit by Hutchings. So a little violence in an unrelated incident. Ryan Pasacco now headed back out onto the track. So our point leader is back in the race.
Well, with only one lap on the board, you know that you're going to see Pasacco get back to the front of this field. And even if the car isn't perfect, that is a talent behind the wheel that can still work his way through traffic and thread the needle. A good spotter, and that's what the Crenchman race team has always had, will make a tremendous difference in this one. Get ready. It's time to put it to the test. The big whistle. Scott Cook, a week ago, was so disappointed. He said, I had a winning race car, and things just didn't go my way. This time it looks like they're going his way because Cook takes over the lead. It's short-lived. Ray is sideways. Here they come, thundering 3 wide off turn 2.
A little rumba action for Dave Ray as he wiggled all over the track. Let's see what Moltz can do. Car number 94 as he tries to Jenny Craig his way underneath the 42 car. Nothing happening right now. To the outside is Peterson. Then a great battle between Keith Rocco and Tommy Ferd for the number 5 spot.
That's a good battle as they are side by side. Look out, here's the defending champion along with Dillon Moltz. Moltz moves into the 3rd spot. He just can't do it. Now Peterson fights back. A little further back, Bennett and Ferd, deja vu. It's what we saw 1 week ago in the 100-lap event. And now it appears that Bennett will shake off Ferd. Woody Pitkat follows his neighbor to the front of the class. Here comes Rocco. Now down underneath Peterson, Matt. Battle is for 2nd down in turn number 3.
And Moltz has the power as he's able to jackrabbit his way underneath the Stinger. Dave Ray, Moltz into 2nd, and now trying to slide into 3rd is Bennett as he almost got by Rocco. So they are racing hard, and Rocco, Kid Rock, is able to rabble-rouse his way in 3rd.
Michael Bennett was a man with a mission. He said he was so disappointed last week. He felt he had a winning race car and only got on the podium with a 3rd place run. He is looking back at a podium finish, but he needs to get around the national champion, and that's no easy task by any stretch of the imagination here. Scott Cook has come close so many times in the late models here. Him and his brother, a family effort, and they are among the shining stars, leading them back to the line, 5 laps and counting.
And Butler is in a battle as he tries to hold off the 1-2 punch of Wayne Corey and Patrick Townsend. That is a battle for 7th place. And at the front, the lead is starting to dwindle for Scott Cook because Dillon Moltz is on the prowl, and it's been a long time since Dillon Moltz has been able to rack up a victory.
Last week, Dillon Moltz had a tire go down. He made contact with a wall. They literally had to clip the front suspension of the race car. They've got it back. It is stronger than ever, and he was pleased after practice. How pleased? Well, second is just the first place runner-up. He's looking to go to the front of the class, but Scott Cook says, no way. He's the guy to watch. 8 laps as they cross the stripe this time.
So it is still Cook in front, and Moltz trying to flag him down, and Moltz getting closer. Moltz is always pretty tough in the corners, as he can go just as quick in the corners as he does down the straightaway. Battle between Pitkat and Bennett. So a tale of one city, Stafford, and look at Pitkat as he is able to scalpel his way underneath the 64 car of Bennett. Bennett not giving up without a fight, but Pitkat has the leverage in car number 88.
Michael Bennett runs the inside like he was on rails. Now he cannot hold off the talents of Pitkat. He will now settle back into the 4th spot. Here comes Fern. Remember, they swap a little paint as they come off turn number 4. Back to the front of the field. Bid for the lead now, but look at that battle between Fern and Michael Bennett. Bennett goes back up the hill. He has to settle back from the 6th spot, from 4th all the way back to 6th. That's not the direction he wanted to be heading. As they come to the line, Moltz is still a factor, 10 laps and counting.
And he is a big factor, as he is close enough to eat his lunch off the back bumper of the Scott Cook car. Rocco makes it a threesome, so the top 3 cars could fit inside a hula hoop.
Oh, trouble. Woody Pitkat's off the pace mat. Woody Pitkat dropped off the pace momentarily, like something is wrong with his race car. He was a factor, and then all of a sudden the car slowed in the backstretch, but now it seems to be back up and in high gear and running well again.
So Pitkat just a siesta in that number 88 car, and that gives an edge to Fern and also Michael Bennett to try to corral that number 88 car. The plot thickens at the front of the field. Scott Cook has the lead. All over him like a wetsuit on a skin diver. The 94 of Moltz, also in the vicinity is Rocco. So we have 3 heavyweights sparring like mixed martial arts in turn 3.
Well, they come back to the stripe, and Dillon Moltz literally tries to get a piece of the inside. As he comes off turn number 4, they swing and they sway like dance partners on a floor of dancing as they come back to the stripe. It is still Scott Cook, but still Dillon Moltz is right there and challenging. Cook does a masterful job of guarding on to the inside lane. He makes aware that the factor to get around him is going to have to be a move to the outside. As they come back off turn number 4, now the top 6 cars, once they were strung out, now they are nose to tail, and it's still a long way from over with. We're just at the halfway in this event match.
And Moltz, it looks like he still has a pretty good car left, so Cook is going to have his hands full. And maybe he's slowing down the pace, Ben, because look at Pitkat, Fern, and Bennett. They have become factors, so the field is getting close together, clustered behind our leader, Scott Cook. Leading the next group of cars is Jim Peterson in car number 17, followed by Butler. But things are getting interesting at the front as the ringleader of the circus continues to be Scott Cook.
Off turn number 4, back to the stripe. There they run, snaking their way down to the bottom of turn number 1. Nobody dares to pull out a line at this point in the event. But guaranteed in the last 6 circuits, you're going to see some action here. They work their way, snaking their way to the bottom of turn number 3. It's still Cook. Moltz right there. Looks for some daylight to the inside. No, it's darkness there, as now Cook that time. The back end of the race car is loosened up considerably. They're coming up on lap traffic maps.
And we'll see what transpires there as Sylvia Cronin gets out of the way and allows Cook to have plenty of room. So no problem for Sylvia Cronin. Moltz trying to make some noise again as he is continuing to hang on to the back bumper like chrome on a trailer hitch as they go into turn 1.
Down to the bottom of turn number 1. Moltz just can't do it. Rocco's been waiting patiently. Meanwhile, Fern and Bennett, they do a little shimmy, shimmy, shake down the backstretch. That upsets them. It forces them back from Woody Pitkat by about 2 car lengths. Off turn number 4, Cook is still the leader. 19 laps, now making 20 as they cross the stripe.
So the time is running out for Moltz as he tries to stay within contact of the 99 car. Also, Rocco is tough. And Jim Peterson, that number 17 car, has some late life as it becomes a factor in the upper echelon of the field. Dillon Moltz, he is pretty good at saving his tires and saving his car to the finish. And Cook has to realize that as he continues to hold off one of the best drivers in the country.
That is so true. Back off turn number 2 and down the backstretch. Cook still doing a good job of setting a blistering pace at the point. He is the fastest car on the racetrack. That's what a leader should be. Coming back to the line, his weakest point is coming off turn number 4. Now the door suddenly opens down to the bottom. Moltz is sideways. They almost touch. Rocco is there. Is he going to finish him off, Matt, as they come off turn 2?
Pitkat making it a 3-wide battle into turn number 3, and Pitkat goes from 4th to 2nd.
That's a sign of a great driver. Kid Rock moves into the 3rd spot. Here comes Fern and Bennett and Peterson. Do not want to be left out of this one. Moltz is in trouble. He is off the pace. Meanwhile, here comes Peterson. Up to the top 5 comes Bennett. Now a dogfight battle for 6. Here's Peterson. Now it's Moltz from 2nd all the way back to 7. That's how it changes. 23 and counting as they come to the line.
Leading by a cow pasture is Scott Cook. Will Pitkat have enough time to try to run him down? Rocco is next. Good battle. Fern and Bennett. But the drum major of the parade and beating his drum loudly is Scott Cook. Came close last week, looking for redemption tonight.
And he looks very, very strong. Gets the high 5 from Josh as they come from off turn number 4 back to the stripe. Leader is still Cook. Look at the battle. Fern right there. Here comes Peterson down underneath Bennett. Bennett shakes him off like a dog that has fleas as they head into turn 3.
And Bennett trying to make a move underneath Fern is denied. Well, Moltz, that car looked like it just took a siesta, because right now it's up to peak efficiency as he is able to blur his way underneath Jim Peterson. So whatever happened to Dillon Moltz, it was only a temporary condition.
And further back in the field, Pasako just had, well, an ill-handling race car after that bout with the wall and a tire going down. But off turn number 4, 27 laps, Cook is still the leader of the pack.
And Cook continues to strengthen his lead against Pitkat. Then it's Rocco. A side-by-side scenario for 4th and 5th between Tom Fern and Michael Bennett. Moltz hanging tough, but nobody's tougher than a big whistle. The football coach from Montville is 2 laps away from victory.
2 laps away. The Cook brothers have worked hard. If they can just hold it off for 1 more mile, what a celebration it'll be in CarQuest Victory Lane. Bennett now still working over Fern. Moltz gets a 2nd wind. He's right there as a factor in this one. Off the turn, down to the line. Here comes our leader. White flag is out. He is gone at the front of the field. Scott Cook needs to hold on for 3 more turns, Matt. The big whistle will be tooting down the backstretch. We've got a car that is off the pace from the high lane to the inside lane. We go to yellow.
And it is Blake in car number 61 that brings out the yellow that Scott Cook did not want to see. Wow, he was close enough to start counting the black squares on the checkered flag. Now it is time for the 2nd time tonight for the 3 most exciting words in motorsports: green, white, checker. And Woody Pitkat has a reprieve against Scott Cook. So if Cook is going to break into the win column tonight, he is really going to have his 2 best laps of the season. Let's go to pit road.
Well, Matt, take a look back to just 1 week ago in the late model 100. Scott Cook had a very strong run late in the race. He struggled on a restart. He was on the inside line. He backed up, and he was unable to finish that strong run on the podium. Hopefully the same thing will happen tonight, but you know that's going through the mind of this crew and Scott Cook.
We've been told that part of the reason for the caution coming out, there was debris on the racetrack, and they believe that that debris came from the 61 car that perhaps broke an axle as the axle came out of the race car, and part of the axle was literally thrown onto the racing surface itself. So the Family Ford of Enfield safety crew checking out things there as we are about ready to go back to green. 29 laps up on the board. The Cook brothers almost had the money in the bank. we're going to take a look at the 3-wide pass from Broadcast Central. As we have the best seat in the house to watch this one, Matt. There's the bid. Dillon Moltz was the factor here in this one. Then it was Rocco in the middle, but the Timex timely move was Woody Pitkat with a clear move to the inside. He never touched anyone as he worked his way to pick up the spot, and that gave him second. Rocco setting in third, Byrne in the 4th spot, Bennett in position number 5, and then of course Dillon Moltz, who, Matt, you said it best, took a little siesta and then came back.
Yeah, he got stuck on the outside, but he will be lining up to the outside of Jim Peterson in 8th place. This restart might decide the race. Scott Cook has dominated most of the way, but he is going to have to hold on for 2 laps against one of the best drivers in the Northeast, Woody Pitkat. Here they come. Pitkat getting the bounce in car number 88.
Scott Cook makes the mistake of not getting enough momentum as they came to the first turn. Oh, trouble further back in the field. Keith Rocco shuffled all the way back, Matt, with car number 7. Passaco's going by him now.
Passaco trying to take care of Rocco. We are down to our final lap. Woody Pitkat trying to lengthen his lead against Scott Cook. Tommy Fern holding off Michael Bennett for 3rd. Fern in trouble. Bennett getting underneath him.
Bennett moves to the podium. Look out. Here comes the 94 of Dillon Moltz. What action midfield as they come off turn number 4. The sweet song of victory being sung at the line. Woody Pitkat has done it. Scott Cook for 2nd. Michael Bennett for 3rd. Dillon Moltz to finish in 4th. Jimmy Peterson to finish in 5. And what an incredible late model feature event.
Tommy Butler in 6. J.J. Hill, what a recovery he made to finish 7th. He pitted early, and Ryan Passaco will maintain his point lead for 1 more week. He finished 8th, Tommy Fern 9th, and Jim Avojanis in 10th.
Adam Gray will finish at 11th. Kid Rock slips all the way back to 12th. Wayne Corey Jr. to 13th. Ryan Priest for 14th, and David Ray to finish in 15th.
Then it was Mark St. Hilaire in 16th. The 17th of Patrick Townsend, 18th for Tony LaFoe. The 51 will finish in 19th. Then it was Sylvia Crudden in 20th, and in 21st, that is John Blake. Of course, Tim Fogg in car number 51. And in the winner's circle is Woody Pitkat, and it looked like his chances, well, he had 2 chances with 3 laps to go, null and void. But then a yellow flag came out, necessitating our green-white checker finish, and Woody Pitkat got to jump on the restart, and it enabled him to pull down a win. Scott Cook close for the 2nd straight week. It usually always comes down to a restart, and Scott Cook just couldn't close the deal. It is his best finish of the season, as he finished 3rd a couple of weeks ago for Woody Pitkat. That is his 5th win of the season. So we are ready to start the party as Woody will be launching himself out of the race car. And to conduct our ceremonies as master of ceremony, let's go to Joe Koss.
Got just about set to climb out of car number 88 here in CarQuest Victory Line for another time here at the Stafford Speedway in late model competition. And what a 3-wide move he made over there in the back straightaway. The crew told me earlier that the car wasn't that strong in practice, but by the time you put this driver, Woody Pitkat, in a race car for the feature event, they said, you know what, he's always worth a couple of tenths per lap out on the racetrack, and that exactly proved to be the case. So Woody Pitkat in CarQuest Victory Lane sprays everybody with Village Springs water down here. Woody, first of all, take us through that 3-wide move there on the back straightaway that got you up in a 2nd. How did you see that opening on the racetrack?
Good job, man. That was your race. That was your race.
Congratulating Scott Cook along the way. Woody?
I don't know. I think I might have hurt the motor in the heat race. I missed a shift, and it didn't seem to pull as good as it normally does. And you know, I saw the 48 there, and my rear view get spun early, and I just said, you know, you just got to be patient. And this is, you know, you got to just finish. So I don't know. I didn't know that Moltz and Keith there got hooked. I just, you know, the spot open. I said, all right, I'm going to throw it in there and not try to get in too deep and wash up in front of them and just protect the bottom, and got out. And I feel so bad for Scott Cook because that was his race, but I don't know. One day maybe I could talk to him and tell him what he did wrong, because that should have been his race. But we'll take it. You know, I'm so glad for these guys, New Haven Truck and Auto Body, Bill Snow. They worked so hard this week. I think we really had a car to beat last week and just got wrecked early. can't thank them enough. Billy the Kid, awesome power. Bob Phil, he went through the car this week. We were off a little bit, but it was really good. I just can't thank everybody, my family, my crew, my girlfriend, and everybody. Thanks for coming out. Stafford Motor Speedway and CarQuest.
That's Woody Pitkat celebrating again here in CarQuest Victory Lane with the late models. Boy, if he said patience is a 3-wide pass in the back straightaway, I'd hate to see it when he gets aggressive. Well, Scott Cook, another solid run for you. Scott, it seems as though, as you run late in these events, a second-place run, but the restarts seem to be hurting you here at the end of this event. What is it that you can do to get these restarts figured out so you can be standing here where Woody Pitkat is?
Well, if I knew that, I'd tell you. I mean, last week we took a hard hit on the restart and kept our mouths shut. And tonight, I tried to do the best I could on this restart. You don't want to jump. They're watching, everybody jumping on the restarts, and we'll take it for what it is. I know we had this race won. I know last week we had it won, and there's nothing you can do when you really got to, instead of worrying about racing, you got to worry about, where they're going to throw the green flag and stuff like that. I want to thank TA Engines, E&J Enterprise, Spafco, my brother who puts effortless time in this car, Matt, Mike, Kyle and Karen, and the car's really fast, and we're just happy to be up front and show everybody we can race with these guys. I congratulate Woody and Michael Bennett.
That's Scott Cook. Thought he might have gotten one tonight, and certainly this team on the verge of being able to get to CarQuest Victory Lane. Mike Bennett, you didn't show up to the end of this event, but you end up with another third-place finish. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, our car was getting better toward in the longer run tonight, but I feel bad for Scott Cook. He's a great guy. We're good friends with him, and that was his race there, and it sucks that there was a late caution, but I don't know. We had a great car. I got to thank all my sponsors: TSI Harley Davidson Company, Hitchcock Pool Water, Hair Hilarious. Susan L. Tracy, a fan that became a sponsor. Thank you very much. Visual Perceptions, BA Museo, my whole entire family, my crew, my parents, my fathers, my spotter did a great job tonight on that restart. And another third place, we keep on clicking off these podiums.
That's Mike Bennett, another podium finish for his team as Woody Pitkat continues his celebration of a late model victory in CarQuest Victory Lane.